I've grown a pair of tits. We need to sort this out immediately. Fuck that. We can't be dealing with that on stage. Yeah, that's gonna have to go. Hello gang, I am currently on the way to have my nipples brutally torn off and my breasts taken out and then my nipples then reattached. And also a little bit of fucking liposuction to go along with it. That's right, I'm having some gyno correction surgery. Essentially what's happening is I'm having the gland that causes gyno completely removed. So it's never going to be an issue. Now, at the moment, I don't have this overwhelmingly noticeable gyno, but what's incentivized me to go get this surgery in the middle of prep is the fact that there has been flare-ups and to the point where it is now a little bit noticeable in certain lighting. And I believe as I get leaner, that's only going to be more and more noticeable, potentially. It might go down, but that's not a risk I want to take. So my thought process is if I take it out completely, it's never going to be an issue to be concerned about. Because the last thing I want to do is step on stage, make a ton of improvements, and I've got lumps under my nipples. Because people, the judges, will just overlook improvement and they'll be like, ha, lumps. I'm guaranteed to knock you back a few placings. So, especially with this being my pro debut season, I would hate for that to be the case. So I don't want to risk it. So that's why I'm like, cool, let's get it out. Because to be honest with you guys, if it's not now, it will have to be at some point. And I'm not going to wait for it to get really noticeable before I have it. Because then it's probably going to be a bigger, more costly surgery. Now, how did I end up having gyno? Well, it's actually something that can easily happen when you use PEDs. There's other things that incentivize it. It could be a hormonal imbalance, so you could never touch PEDs in your life and still have gyno. What I noticed was I had my initial flare-up when I started PEDs early 2020, back end of 2019. So it's roughly 5 years, and I've been able to get rid of it, and I've had flare-ups then. But what I've noticed over time is I would have to do more to prevent that from happening. I was very limited with how much test I'd be able to take, and the ratios of DHT derivatives like primo and mass that I was taking in comparison to the test was just getting silly. Then you've got the alternative to manage it, which is using AIs, and AIs aren't great for your lipid health. So it's not a very healthy thing to be relying on. It's not something that I want to do. So essentially what I'm saying is it's been harder to keep down. You can have flare-ups of gyno, and before it's solidified, you could bring it back down. But I was noticing I was having to do more and be additionally cautious, and that is both not going to be healthy and it's also going to be super restrictive. As sensible as I have been with my usage, because I've never been one to abuse PEDs, over the accumulation of years, it's just flared up a little bit easier and become a little bit more noticeable. And to be honest, it has solidified a little bit. So again, for that reason, I just want to completely remove that gland and relieve myself of the headache. Now, managing estrogen is still going to be a priority after this, for sure. But I won't have to be as conscious with trying to manage it. A lot of bodybuilders actually have gyno surgery. A lot. You would be surprised at how many actually do have this surgery. Ronnie Coleman, for example, he won his first Olympia with gyno. He's that fucking good. But he obviously had to have the surgery. And there's a ton. There is a ton that you probably would have never have guessed. For some people, it's part of the process of bodybuilding. But like I say, you can definitely do a lot to mitigate it. There are plenty of people that can mitigate it. And there are plenty of people that have been sensible and they end up getting it, and there are plenty of people who have been not sensible at all and they get it, you know? Obviously, how am I feeling about it? I saw it and I was like, when I first saw it, I was a little bit worried, but then I just accepted, okay, cool, it's time to have the surgery. I knew it was going to be at some point very inconvenient to have it now, but like I say, I don't want to risk getting on stage and not being there, and I don't want to wait for it to get worse. So that is annoying. So the surgery, I haven't really thought too much about the actual surgery and doing it. It's more so the concern for me is having the time off from the gym. I've got a rough idea, but not knowing exactly when I'm going to be back training. It's acknowledging that I am going to have an uncertain amount of time off, and there will be an amount of time where my progress will start going backwards in some regards. And also, it's being conscious not to go back too early and rip off my nipples, you know, and reset the recovery process and draw that out for longer. And it's the hope in between that I come back sooner rather than later. That in itself holds me accountable to making sure I'm on it when it comes to the recovery. It makes sure that, you know, I handle this stuff like my diet whilst I'm off and everything to make sure I'm in a great spot to when I come back. But I'm acknowledging that the longer I'm out, a few weeks out, I'm going to be from stage. So that's the gamble. That's the sort of uncertainty that I'm having at the moment. I've tried to plan as much as possible to make sure everything goes smoothly, that I'm in a position where I can rest. I'm in a position where my diet's going to be in a place where I'm not just putting on body fat whilst I'm awake, but I'm eating enough to recover. But yeah, the surgery itself, it looks a bit brutal. And that's what I wanted to do as well, as I wanted to share this, document it, so that you guys can see, and there might be some people who have gyno and they're a little bit curious as to what the surgery may entail. They might be considering the surgery themselves. And then hopefully, for people who are considering it or just curious, adds a bit of perspective. Because like I say, this is a very common thing, especially for bodybuilders to have. Where I'm going to have the surgery is at the Signature Clinic in Manchester. The surgery itself, I was lucky enough to get it for $2,700, which is quite cheap for gyno surgery in the UK. You can get it cheap abroad, but again, I didn't want to fuck around with flights. Not ideal when you're on prep, and it's just trying to make sure this goes as smoothly as possible for the sake of prep and the recovery itself. The surgery itself, I'm not overthinking it because it's pointless. You know, I just got to do it. It's booked. I'm on the way for it. I just got to get it done. Stressing about, oh, is it going to hurt or this, that, the other, is not going to change the fact that I'm about to fucking have it done. Yeah, the main worries that I'm applying are just within the controllables, and I just need to find peace with the uncontrollables. And that is a lovely opportunity to challenge my narrative and challenge my mindset to grow in other ways. But yeah, what determines whether prep is viable is whether I can come back on stage and showcase undeniable improvements. That is the aim. That's the main aim of this season, is to showcase undeniable improvements from the last time I was on stage. In my opinion, that's the priority as a bodybuilder. I favoured that as a priority over getting a better placing, because if I get a better placing but I look worse, I've gone backwards as a bodybuilder. And it's the trajectory of improvement, because you can't help who turns up to the show. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. So the next time you see me, I'll be pretty much getting surgery. Fuck yeah, what a great time. Looking at all the different surgeries.
Choosing what he wants next.
I don't think there's a lot that you could do.
You definitely don't need the butt lift one. You've got enough butt.
Hello. How are you, sir? You okay?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
No problem. Take your time. Can I take a quick look at the three markings, for mate?
Yeah, absolutely.
How long can you take off gym?
I mean,
The big question.
that's a question that I didn't ask you. Really, I want to get back in as soon as possible. Ideally, that's like the main worry because I'm in the middle of a prep at the moment.
Right.
And I've got a show in under 11 weeks now.
Okay. The good news is that the surgery is not going to be that big. Those areas that are marked, this is your surgical site.
Yeah.
Okay. And we numb both of them. We'll open a tiny opening around the lower part of the areola. We'll take the glands out. There is no fat under the skin, so there's no need to do liposuction. Just take the glands out and put stitches back in. So the surgical field is not huge.
Right.
But the thing is that if you work out too soon, that will shear all the layers together. The healing will be a little bit problematic.
Right. Okay.
So if we do like lower body, say, starting from 10 days, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Good.
That's cool. Yeah.
Good. Upper body like 3 weeks. Can we?
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Doable.
Deal.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Great. No worries.
This goes forward. I'm just going to tie it back. So turn it like that.
Okay. So explaining what's going to happen.
One of the team now.
You've never looked sexier.
I've actually seen it a bit. What, nipples hanging off?
So what we would do, there's no liposuction step. We just numb this area that I just marked. We open a tiny opening here, take the gland out, make sure that everything is dry inside, nothing is bleeding. We put a few stitches under the skin so no one can really see them. I repeat the same thing on the other side, dressing on each side, pressure garment looks like a vest.
Okay.
I just need you to be very careful in the first week, doing like any opening a door, carrying something.
Yeah.
Why is that? This is my experience now. When you go to someone like me, I never work out. I don't go to the gym. I do liposuction. This is my only workout every day.
Fair enough.
Any other person, when we open a door, we use exactly the right amount of the muscle fibers. Bodybuilders, they have a different way of doing things.
Right.
When you do anything, you use the whole thing. This is
Yes.
how your brain is programmed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do even the light thing, just be very careful. Let
Very
everyone around you help you using arms, chest, area, pushing, pulling heavy things. Just think twice,
Yes.
especially during the first week. That's what
The first week, just
it is the most important, the most critical period.
okay. Cool.
Okay.
We might have people using peptides for the recovery.
Yes. Amazing. I even encourage them. Which one you use?
BPC.
The 245 thing?
Yeah. So BPC 157 and TB 500.
Okay. All of them are lab grade things.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have used them before, they didn't cause problems or anything. As long as they are sterile, feel free. That's completely fine.
Okay. How long?
I have few people that use the 245. This is very popular, especially
245?
especially in Glasgow, like on Glasgow side.
So how long after can I administer the peptides? Would you
Any-
say? Anytime.
It doesn't change anything.
Really? Okay.
Those peptides, they are proved to enhance healing, enhance recovery.
Okay.
So they will never harm your wound.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So it's like an off-label thing because there is no still like the companies here, they don't have enough studies, they don't have enough numbers. While if they go to people and check the numbers, they have more than enough numbers. But they have like, they need to have like an official study and say, yes, this is good, this doesn't cause problems and things.
Right. Okay. In regards to pain relief.
Paracetamol is where you start from.
Right.
This mix that I'm using now, it will cover you for the next 5 to 8 hours actually. You should start your paracetamol once we finish. Don't wait for the pain to come. Just block the gate on the pain. Just don't let it get through. If you feel pain, discomfort, that will be till day 3, day 4, and that's it.
Okay. All right. Ibuprofen,
Not for the first week.
not for the first week. Okay, cool. That's to do with the inflammation.
That's
You wanna-
right.
the necessary
It inhibits the platelets to stick together, so it may catch bleeding.
Right, okay. I read somewhere fish oils to stay away from.
Not that strong. Like if you start them also soon if you're on them. So
Okay, cool.
thank you very much.
So I just need to take a few pictures for medical records. That's
Okay.
On the
okay.
way. Okay?
And we can take just one from please. Can you turn to the side, please? Thank you. Alright. I'm just going to check with Tim and I'll let you know when you're ready. And I can just take you. So you do have the hard copy after test sheet. In case if you forget anything, you can always go back to that. So the dressing, it just basically some goes on your chest area, and you need to keep it on for 48 hours. So while you are taking a shower, you can take a shower with the dressing on, and then slowly try to remove it because it might be painful.
Right, yeah.
It's very sticky. I put some ink pads for you. You can just cover it on your bed for 2 nights and tomorrow, because in case you might see some oozing of local anesthetic or even blood,
Yep.
which is normal, for a couple of days. You need to keep the garments on in total for 6 weeks. The first 3 weeks 24/7 non-stop. The second 3 weeks either morning or afternoon, so only 12 hours a day.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
That's fine. So 6 weeks in total.
Yes.
Okay.
Stitches are dissolvable, so you don't need to come back for a stitch removal.
So is this washable?
Yes. Also, you can get the spare one if you want.
Right, yeah, that'll be useful.
Yeah.
Right, how often would you recommend?
So for first 3 weeks, you need to keep it on non-stop. So if you
Okay.
have a spare one, you can swap it or exchange it, but you cannot remove it.
This about one would be
The only time that you can remove it is to take a shower. And then as soon as you are out, you need just to put it back on again.
Am I able to put this on myself or?
You need to ask someone to help you.
Right, okay, cool.
Okay. It's just because you cannot really pull anything, obviously you need to just, sort this area
Mm-hmm.
and you cannot pull it. So if you just relax your body and someone else trying to help you, that's the ideal. So medication, we do have antibiotic that has penicillin in it. In
Okay.
case if you have any reaction to that, just
Yep.
immediately stop it and we can change the medication.
Yep.
So that is 1 tablet 3 times a day after each meal. You're gonna start after dinner tonight, and then tomorrow after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so 3 times a day. To be very specific, every 8 hours. That is a cream. That's antibiotic cream again. This goes alongside of the scar. So whenever you want to change the dressing, apply this first, and then on top of that, the dressing will go.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so shower, you can take a shower as normal, but just be careful around the incisions area.
After 2 days.
After 2 days,
Yeah.
yes. And just be careful around the incisions area. Do not use any shampoo, any shower gel. And garments, as I said, 6 weeks in total. Exercise, please avoid cardio for 14 days. Any heavy lifting, bending over, things like that, you need to avoid it for at least 14 days. You can do very light housework after 7 days, not now. And anything that rushes blood to the face area and chest area, you need to avoid it. Bending over, sitting, things like that. After obviously 4 to 6 weeks, you can go back to the gym, but very low level, from the start. You cannot lift any heavy things still, it's too early. Your diet will be normal, just avoid salty food and alcohol for 7 days.
Fully salty food.
Try to sleep slightly elevated with 2 or 3 pillows. Just raise your head up and reduce the swelling.
Mm-hmm.
And your final result will be after 6 months to 1 year. But you obviously can see something after 4 to 6 weeks when swellings and bruising settles down.
I'm going to be competing in about 11 weeks. The recovery is going to be a very individual thing for sure.
Yeah.
But is it likely that it will look okay, or would it be very noticeable?
For 11 weeks, yes. Because most of the swelling and bruising after 6 weeks, it should be okay.
Okay.
But it depends on how you take care of yourself as well. Like, you know, put some cold compress on the chest area just so you can, like, you know, obviously reduce the swelling as much as you can. That's the best way, and rest. Like,
So, what is the range of motion I have, or should be staying within?
as long as you are not raising your hands above your shoulder, it's fine.
So I can reach out to my side. Okay.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay,
Like
cool.
reaching outside.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm like.
Okay. But
then
not
move.
doing this kind of
Okay, so it's mainly reaching up. Okay.
With your t-shirt, you need to be careful as well. Try
Yes.
to put your head first, and then try to put your hands, like, you know, instead of like putting your hand first and like, you know, then head. Okay, last one. Go and just
Guys, look at me. The fuck is this? They call me Nipolus. That's my name now. Nipolus. So much breast tissue was removed. So much.
like in fine that I can think. So that's him.
Hello.
You alright?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
You okay?
It's you. Just had a breast reduction.
I'm just going to remove
Oh yeah.
this
my hat.
fancy hairnet.
I don't get to keep them.
I can give you a spare one.
Oh, brilliant.
Kind of looks like a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, I'm like 50 cent.
First thing first, we need to just put the head part first.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is that. Yes, this is the right way. Okay. Then try to bend your elbow. And then that's like a minimal basically movement for
Okay.
your hands.
Okay. This is
Just look, everything's really baggy.
yes.
Did they put your nips back on?
I hope so. I haven't seen him. As far as I know, I've known it. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was awake. Hello, gang. We are post-surgery. Yeah, God, I am completely debilitated. I've had to be helped with putting my t-shirt on, just opening doors, getting in the car. I'm gonna have to have my seatbelt put on me because I cannot rip these stitches on my chest. And with the anesthetic as well, I can't feel my chest, which is great from a pain perspective, but also I could fuck up the stitches and the wound and not even know about it. That's the dangerous thing. But now I have to be super, super careful. Like immediately after, I can't fucking move, you know? Like I'm gonna have to be careful just eating this. I've got my chicken and rice, still being a good bodybuilder. So the surgery's happened. Unfortunately, weren't able to film it because not everyone in the surgical room consented, which fair enough. It's frustrating because I got the go ahead and the permission before. So obviously I was under the assumption that we're going to be filming the thing. But nevertheless, I'll just tell you about it. So I was awake throughout the surgery and they used a local anesthetic. I wasn't able to see what was going on. There was this sheet in front of me. I also didn't fit on the table. I didn't fit on the table, right? So they had to get these other extenders where I could rest my arms, which was very fucking weird. Like I lay on it, they were like, yeah, you're too wide for this. I had nowhere to put my arms, and I couldn't even put them out to the side. So we fixed that, but it was a very weird experience. I've been awake through a surgery, and because I couldn't see what was going on, I can only just feel. Now, because I was under the anesthetic, I couldn't feel it when they were doing it. So I was lying there thinking, what are they doing now? Have they cut me open? Are they removing it now? Are they stitching me up? What I could feel was them rummaging around on my chest, which is very weird because I could feel the pressure and them just moving around, and it was very, like I say, very weird because I knew that they were literally, I was cut open at that point. I could feel them tugging the gland out, which again, I was like, whoa. That was for the right nipple, and then the left nipple. So at first, the only thing that felt painful was the anesthetic going in and just that being jabbed in me. No biggie. So that sound, really, considering obviously they were cutting me open and fucking, it felt like yanking out the gland. When they got to the left nipple, I don't feel like that fully went to sleep when they started doing the stuff, because it felt similar to the right one. And then I got to like this upper part of my left nipple right here, and I felt them cutting the fucking gland. Yeah, like, shall we pull in her face here?
Disgusting.
I felt the snip, but also each strand cut. I was like, ow, that fucking hurt. It caught me off guard. So at this point here, I felt what was going on. And then it eventually died down a little bit. But it made me very glad that the rest of me was under anaesthetic. I could tell without it, it would have been very fucking painful from that little moment. So that was a bit fucked. Yeah. It went pretty sound. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but it wasn't heaps of pain, and the pain's going to last about a week. The surgeon, absolute lad, he was like, so you wanted to get back into the gym quick? Okay. Well, we won't do lipo, which was fucking sick, because lipo is probably the worst part of that procedure. And I think that's due to potentially the size of the gland not being crazy, and me being a bit in prep, and, you know, my chest is relatively lean. So they didn't need to do it, which is great because that shortens the recovery process. And he was like, okay, so you want to go into the gym? Okay, can you do 10 days until lower and then 3 weeks until you're doing upper? And I was like, God, that's fucking sick. Because initially they're saying don't exercise for 6 weeks and don't start any cardio until 2 weeks. And you can't do any housework for a full week. Any light housework. Either you can't bend over, pick shit up, reach up, can't wash myself. I can't shower for 2 days now. And then when it comes to that, I need a hand actually just being able to wash myself. And because I have to really reach around to wash shit like my back, that's gonna be a bit of effort. So I'm like a baby, a newborn baby. But that surgeon, an absolute lad, because he knew what the crack was. He was the first guy that gave me that time window of being able to get back into the gym. But yeah, I'm super happy with that being the case, because he said himself it's not going to be too long. I think not having the lipo and not having a crazy amount of the gland has helped with that. So potentially for guys who are thinking about having it, have it sooner rather than later. And also drop a bit of body fat first before getting it, and that might help with the recovery process. But you can always inquire about this type of stuff. So that was a big concern. So if he's saying 14 days, I could probably do it in 7. I'm just kidding. I won't. I will be sensible. I'll be sensible. I'm very grateful that's the case. And I think a couple of weeks out of the gym, despite being in prep, it'd be sound. I just need to eat maintenance calories enough so I can recover well, rest the fuck up, get plenty of sleep. I do what I need to do to recover as quick as possible. I'm going to stay on top of my supplements. I'm going to be using peptides to help speed up the recovery. And I'm going to be a good boy and listen to the doctor's advice. And I'm very, very grateful that I've got Shelby here to help me as well, because I was actually planning on doing this on my own and just cracking on with life after. I didn't realise how dependent I was going to be and how dependent I need to be for this recovery to go well. Shelby has offered to help with a lot of this stuff, literally looking after me so I don't rip my own nipples off. And what makes it crazier as well, she's here right now. She's been with me. She's come up with me to have this surgery, be with me for this surgery, and again, look after me. And today's her birthday. What an awesome person.
You're welcome.
You're pretty cool, aren't you?
The coolest.
So, I'm going to eat my chicken and rice. I think that's it for now. And then, I'm going to keep you up to date with how the recovery goes and all the trials and tribulations of that shit. And then we'll see how the nipples look after a few days. Let's see that. At the moment, I don't even want to look at them. It's weird, man, because my chest is so numb. I feel like it doesn't feel like it's there. I just feel like this is just a caution. But yeah, cool. For now, that is ciao. Love you lots. See you in a bit.